Hi, Kevin. Greetings from Budapest. How are you?
I'm good. It's early here. It's like about 8 o'clock in the morning here. So we're...
Yeah. I just wanted to say that I know that it's early in the morning, but you seem really, really fresh. So congratulations. I guess you are over a few shots of coffee.
Yeah, I've had a few of them at this point. I'm excited to make some Hungarian food for breakfast, I guess, you know?
Yeah, no. It's not the breakfast because we right now in Hungary it's 2 o'clock p.m. So it's lunchtime. So I'm gonna make a really typical traditional Hungarian lunch dish. Yeah.
We've talked on the phone, but this is sort of our first time meeting.
Yeah.
I'm a chef here in Atlanta. I own a few restaurants here. I have 5 of them in Atlanta, and I'm excited about this. I guess, you know what, from a professional standpoint, most people know me as the pork guy.
How did you get to the pork guy? Because it's a really serious name, but how did you start with this pork business?
We lived next door to my grandmother when I was a kid, and my grandmother is an exceptional cook. And pork just showed up in a lot of the recipes. Sometimes it was used as a flavoring ingredient, sometimes it was the main ingredient, but I didn't cook a lot of it professionally for most of the early part of my career. Where the change happened was actually in filming a television show that we have here in the US. I was a competitor on this show in, 2008, I think. All I wanted to do was cook the food of my childhood. And so those two things kind of came together on national television for millions of people to see. And I kind of became the pork guy after that. But I was okay with it because I've always loved pork. It's always been my personal favorite.
My grandmother used to work as a chef and my father as well. But I never worked in the kitchen. But in 2008, I started a video blog, just cooking for YouTube. And just after about a year, a big Hungarian television channel, we made like 15 series from this show now.
Wow.
And this YouTube channel, what I have, got really, really popular in Hungary. So I got like over 5,000 different recipes on my channel. And I also started to publish cookbooks. So in Hungary, at the moment, we have problems finding really good traditional restaurants. They are just not trendy enough at the moment. So I decided to cook traditional not so trendy dishes using a lot of pork, because I told you we are a pork eater nation. So I have many pork dishes.
And what's interesting is that when you look at that kind of classic cooking, it doesn't really matter what country you're from. Pork factors into it a lot. It does for us, it does for you. And I think that shared love is something that is obviously going to come out today when we're cooking together. One of the main reasons that I wanted to cook alongside you today is that I really love the food from places like Germany and Austria and that sector of the world. My wife is German and I love that style of food. I like how hearty and homey and flavorful it is. And so when I had a choice of who can I cook with, and I saw that you were open to doing it, I knew that I don't know a ton about Hungarian food, but I feel strongly like I'm really gonna like it. So today is really special because although I'm not getting to go to Hungary, this is at least it's almost like traveling.
Almost traveling, yeah. So let's start talking about the dish what I brought you for today. It's gonna be, and now I'm gonna say the Hungarian name of it. It's bakonyi sertésszelet galuskával. I don't know if you understood.
No, I have no idea.
Okay, so the English name for this is something about pork chop, bakonyi style with galuska. Galuska is quite hard to translate, but I'm gonna show you. It's like Käsespätzle. There are like small dumplings.
And what does bakony style mean?
Okay, so Bakony is a small mountain in Hungary, and all this recipe comes from this region. Bakony is really famous for wild pigs and mushrooms, and this recipe combines these two basic ingredients, the wild pigs and the wild mushrooms.
Awesome. All right, well, I'm excited. Let's get started.
Okay, so the first step, it's really important that we have to cook the mushrooms. And for this, we need a pan which is really hot, like smoking hot. You're gonna cook them in this hot pan without any oil.
I did a couple things before we started because I felt like I understood how to quarter a mushroom. So
these are these really simple champignon mushrooms, or I don't know how you call them. Like
this is just a marketing thing, but in the United States, we call them baby portobello.
You can use any kind of mushrooms what you like. Now I'm gonna add the mushrooms. We need to get all these nice earthy flavors from the mushrooms, okay?
Well, they're smelling really aromatic on my side. They smell great. I know that we're getting good color here. My dog Jonah has made his way into the kitchen because he was asleep, but he smelled the mushrooms. And so that's just cue to wake up and come in here.
Okay, I think my mushrooms are ready.
Yeah, mine look really good too. I have really good color on them.
Yeah, I can show you my version. Yeah, so this is the lever. Yeah, and you can set the mushroom aside.
Okay.
The second step what we're gonna make is about the galushka, because as I told you, we're gonna make a side dish with some bacon and with some onion. So this is what I have.
Yeah, I think it looks pretty much the same. Here, let me show you. Here's the stuff I have right here.
Oh, so yeah. Actually, it's
a little more meat. Yours seems like it has a little bit more fat on it than mine does.
Yeah. So the first step is that we have to cut this bacon in small slices or pieces.
How much bacon are we going to use?
You just simply cannot use too much. That's the rule. Okay, you cannot use too much of bacon. I just put the bacon in the pan and start cooking it. So we have to cook the bacon until it gets crispy. In the meantime, we can also chop an onion.
Yeah, mine is a little bit bigger, so I don't need to use the whole.
Yeah, I think you just need half of that.
Okay.
The same rule as it was with the bacon, you cannot go wrong, and you cannot add too much onion to this galushka. So the bacon is getting crispy, and I also diced the onion.
So you dice an onion like a professional chef does. So you've clearly had lots of practice. You say
actually,
you're
I was practicing for this day. Yeah.
Okay, so it goes in along with the bacon. Perfect.
Yeah. So now I added the onion to the bacon. The main goal is to have some brown onion with this crispy bacon. Just show me what you have in your pan.
Show you what this one looks like. So.
Oh yeah, it's about the same situation. Just I don't know if you can see mine.
Yeah, that looks good. I can smell it.
Yeah, that's cool. Okay, you can just set aside. If you can keep a little amount of fat in the pan, it will be fantastic to start cooking the pork itself, because that's our next step. And I think, Kelly, the biggest treasure what we have now in the kitchen is this pan, because in this pan we used to brown the onions, the bacon, and also the mushrooms. So all the flavors are here in this pan, and this is the pan what we're gonna use now to cook the meat as well. I will show you what I got here as pork chops. So for this dish, we always use pork chops without bones and without the skin.
They're a bit on a little thicker than yours are. Should I try to thin them out?
Yes.
So I don't have a tenderizer, but I do have a chef trick that I'll show you. So
okay.
When you don't have a tenderizer, we take a piece of plastic wrap,
okay,
down, and then put another piece of plastic wrap on top of it. And then the benefit to having a lot of pans in your kitchen is that
so you're gonna use a pan. Okay, yeah.
You can take a heavy pot and use that instead.
Try to make it like a half centimeter, so quite thin.
All right, I have it done. All right.
Okay,
so you
cool.
can see like the same sort of.
Let me show you one more trick what I usually make. There is this little part of the meat with this fat.
Yes.
This fatty part. So this fatty part, I normally cut this fat at 2 or 3 places. That part, this fatty part, because then if you cook the meat, it will remain flat.
That's a good trick. I didn't know that. That's a good trick.
So actually, if you have the pan on medium heat, now we're gonna add a spoon of lard, which I just let melt. I give some salt and pepper to the pork.
Okay.
On both sides. So if you have this heat in the pan, then we can add the pork chops and start cooking them.
Okay.
So actually, it's important that we don't want to cook the meat totally, because later we're gonna put it in a sauce and finish it in this sauce. So now we have to cook like 30 seconds on one side.
Okay.
And then turn around, and we're gonna add another 30 seconds on the other side, and we are done with this.
The smell of pork, like pork fat cooking, is just it's one of the best things ever.
I have really nice brown color on both sides of the pork chop. I will set aside, and we will continue with the pan, which now has even more flavors than before. Now it's better to stop the oven or the induction for a while and not overheat the pan. So set aside the pan as well. And now we start to make the basis of this creamy sauce. Okay, it will be really simple. Again, we're gonna use some onions. I'm gonna cut the onion to as small as I can, because we're gonna try to make a nice sauce, and we don't want to find really big pieces of onion in this sauce.
Basically, it's so small that when it cooks, it just dissolves and melts into the sauce.
We're gonna add this minced onion to the pan and start cooking it on low heat. And actually, even if it's on low heat, the onion gets brown. I will show you. I got some brown onions, but it's not because it's browned, but because it took all the flavors of the meat, of the mushrooms and everything. But I'm gonna chop actually one tomato. Okay. I don't know if you have.
I will admit, I already chopped my tomato, but.
Yeah, I know you have problems with sleeping, and you woke up at 5 o'clock a.m. Yeah.
I did actually. That's exactly right.
I'm gonna cut the tomatoes, and I just cut the peel this way. So with a sharp knife, actually, I can just cut the peel of the tomato, what we will not use. So you can chop it really small. It's almost like a paste or something. When you're finished, you can add also the tomato and start cooking on a little bit higher heat. I will also put all the juices of the tomato in the pan. Cook it a little bit on a higher heat. I want to make also the tomato a little bit get browned.
It smells amazing. I love that this recipe really just continues to layer one thing on top of another, because that's how you get really flavorful food.
So if we see that the tomato has some brownish color, can you see this? Yeah.
Yeah. So most all of the liquid is gone now.
Almost all the liquid is gone. I'm not adding too much water, just like half of a cup. Now I switch to medium heat. I keep this boiling. I'm gonna show you what I got.
Okay. Yep.
You see, it's like yeah.
So this.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay, got it.
That's perfect. Okay, so let's cook this onion and tomato combination for a while to let everything dissolve together. I want to add this bell pepper. We also don't need the seeds. And actually, we can just cut in 2 or 3 pieces or 4 pieces, no problem. And we can just simply add these peppers into the sauce. These peppers will give the flavor, but I will discard them later. And I just put it in the pan.
Okay.
When the water is absorbed, so all the water is gone, you can add the paprika powder. I use now 2 big tablespoons.
Okay.
Not tablespoons, it's too big.
Very, very red. It's very vibrant colored.
Yes. You know, Hungary is really famous for its paprika powder. So on the southern part of Hungary, they are producing this special kind of paprika. It's not hot. It's a sweet paprika, but it has really beautiful fruity flavors and smell.
So
okay, that's fine. That's
this
fantastic.
color, almost like a brick red. It smells great.
We're gonna add some salt and pepper to this base.
So if I wanted it to be spicy, now would be the time to add maybe a little bit of a hot pepper.
Yeah, if you like spicy, you can now add some any kind of spicy pepper. Kevin, do you have some dried marjoram, or I don't know how you call it, marjoram?
Yeah, marjoram. In the US, we don't use marjoram very much.
If you cannot find it, it's no problem, because the traditional version also doesn't use it. You just have you just need about 2 pinches of marjoram, if you have.
And I have this really deep now, like almost a paste. You know, it's very.
Yeah, that's the same. That's the same what I got here.
Okay.
That's absolutely the same. Yeah, and now we're gonna add some more liquid and dissolve this paste. We're gonna add the meat what we pre-cooked before. So we're gonna add the 2 slices of meat. We're gonna add in the sauce. And I guess you also have some liquid out from the meat.
Yep, pour that in.
Yeah, pour that in as well. We need all the flavor of the meat, of course. You have to have enough liquid to just cover the meat. You have that much. I have to add some more. It's really important to keep it moist.
Oh, you know what? I have a question. So I have 2 cloves of garlic. I didn't add them. I think maybe that was an accident.
That was an accident, and thanks for reminding me, because with the paprika and spices, you also have to add the garlic. So thanks, Kevin, for the information. I also forgot it. You just have to slice it really thin. Okay, so if you slice the garlic, you can also add it into the pan and let it cook together with all the other stuff. Thanks, Kevin. And I will look around in the kitchen what else I forgot to add to the pan. This pan needs about, let's say 15 or 20 minutes until the meat gets really soft and tender. But we cannot stop, because we're gonna make the galushka, if you are ready for that. As I said, it's small dumpling, what we're gonna quickly mix and cook in some salty water. We need 300 grams of plain flour in your mixing bowl, 1 nice egg. We're gonna add some salt. We're gonna mix it with some water. Yeah, so I'm adding some more water until it gets sticky consistency. Thicker than a pancake batter, but much more thinner than a pasta dough. The dumplings will be really nice if you don't mix it too hard and for too long. So what I forgot is to start boiling some water. So that's the next step. Please put some water on, or I don't know,
you're
because
gonna be surprised to know this, but I already have a pot of boiling water going.
Yeah, as I know you already boiling the water. The best is when you just see little bubbles on the bottom of the bowl, but not boiling really strong. So we have this the cutting board, and we have the dough, and not all of it, but let's say one third of the dough has to be put in the middle of this cutting board. Okay, you need a knife.
Yes.
You have to put the palette knife in the simmering water, so you just to make it wet a little bit. Okay, and with this wet knife, you have to form a thin line. It's like a snake or like a sausage, or I don't know. The only important thing is that you have to keep your knife moist, which means after a few cuts, you always dip it in the water. like this. And so now we have to wait until the spätzle or the galushka is coming up into the top of the water, which is a sign of being almost ready.
This, I like the size of this. It reminds me of there's another German, they're called finger noodles. And they're almost like a gnocchi, but
but the finger noodles, I know them. And we also have this in Hungary.
Mine have been up for about 2 minutes now. So I think it's probably time to drain them off.
So mine is also ready. So I will drain. Then you rinse the galushka with some water.
Yeah, like.
As you said, yours is bigger, of course. Yeah. But you have your galushka, Kevin, with some salt and with a little bit of oil on top. Yeah. Actually, it's time to remove the capsicum, the bell peppers. Okay.
Okay.
Let me show you what I got here. I put some more water in the pan, so it has this juicy consistence of the sauce. Show me yours. Yeah.
Maybe I add a tiny bit more water.
A little bit more water, but just a little, yeah. So now we drained the galushka. We added some oil, but now we have to mix it with the bacon and the onion. What we started, you remember at the beginning, we made this mixture of crispy bacon and onion.
Very excited about this.
And I'm starting to be so hungry.
Yes, we're going over lunchtime for you. Now it's getting into early afternoon for you.
We have 2 important steps left. Okay, so the one is that we have to add the mushrooms. At the very beginning of the cooking, we made some mushrooms. So let the mushrooms give all the flavors. Of course, also the juices. If you have some juices from the mushrooms in your bowl, red, creamy. It's the same. Yeah, it's fantastic. And we can add some more time to the meat to get really tenderized.
So my pork chops are taking just a little bit longer to get tender because I'm using a heritage breed pigs, what we call them here. So the ones I have they're a crossbreed between Berkshire, which is like an English variety, and then Mangalitsa, which is an Austro-Hungarian variety.
Yeah, but that's what I wanted to say, because Mangalitsa is a type of pig what is coming from Hungary. And we are really extremely proud of this breed. Mangalitsa is really extremely flavorful, but it always needs some more time to cook.
I think mine are good. I just tried it with my fork or my spoon, and it's good. I think we can add the sour cream.
Okay, so then the important thing is that you should not add too much of the sour cream. So we're gonna use actually a big tablespoon of sour cream. That's it. Just 1 teaspoon of cornstarch. Okay, so you have to add this to the sour cream, and you can mix this with a spoon or a whisk to make the temperature equalized. We need to add like 2 or 3 spoons of sauce into the cream and mix it. And now you can add the whole stuff back into the pan in the sauce. You can just take down the level of the stove to minimum.
I'm bringing it back up to a simmer so that the cornstarch will thicken it, but yeah, it's about the same. So.
Yeah, it's the same. Okay, so the cornstarch needs another 2 or 3 minutes. 2 minutes, it's enough. Then it gets really creamy and thick. So I think we really have one thing left to serve and to try it. I think it's better if you just put a big amount of galushka and bacon and onion on the top, and we will just place this creamy mushroom sauce on the top. And it's so nice to feel the smell, because as I told you, my grandmother used to cook this dish many times when I visited her, and I remember my grandmother when I smell this. It's really nice.
Yeah, I'm very excited about this.
Now we can make some garnishing as well, which will be really simple. Normally we just put a little bit of sour cream on the top, just like that. I have some nice parsley. I will just put it on the top of the cream.
Here, I'll show you mine so that you can tell me if I did this right. So here's my very large platter of pork chops and galushka, parsley, sour cream. This smells unbelievably amazing. The aromas have become very, very deep. You know, there's a lot going on here. I'm excited. I'm gonna start trying it now. This is honestly, and I'm not saying this just to be nice, this is one of the best pork dishes I've ever had. This is really phenomenal. It highlights what is so great about pork in the first place, which is that it's the perfect backdrop for any flavor you possibly want. It always works with it. It does remind me of a dish that I worked for a German chef for many years, and from the region in Germany where he was from, they would make something called Zerguner Schnitzel. And the sauce, the Zerguner sauce, is a lot of paprika, a lot of sweet peppers, tomato. So some similarities. It doesn't have the mushroom part to it, but you would cook the schnitzel crispy, and then you would spoon this paprika sauce over the top of it. This I like better, because I think this has more depth. What I like about this dish most is that I can imagine a fine dining version of this also. I can imagine how you could take this dish and you could, without changing it, without losing what's special about it, you could make this a very restaurant style dish to serve in a Michelin star restaurant and still have these same flavors on the plate.
Yeah, Kevin, I will tell you, if you can use this recipe in any of your restaurants, I will be the happiest man on earth, really, because I really love if I can spread the word.
My guests would absolutely love it, and I promise you that in the very, very near future, I am going to make this and put it on the menu. I feel transported to where you are, to Budapest right now, because of the fact that I'm getting to do this with you, even in, sort of in the privacy of my own home.
Yeah, absolutely. And I would be really happy to receive you here. So anytime when you're planning to go to Europe, you are more than welcome to my kitchen here in Hungary and Budapest.
I really appreciate you taking this time today to show me this Hungarian dish, to show me a really awesome way to prepare pork. I'm excited to share it with the guests in my restaurant, to share it with my wife, who I know is going to think that it's absolutely fantastic. Hopefully I'll get a chance to actually come and meet you in person sometime soon. But I think that, as a nice sign off today, let's pretend like we're in the same room. I'm going to get a big bite here. How about you do the same? And
yeah, I'm going to make the same.
Yeah, to delicious food. Cheers. Thank you, my friend.
Cheers. Kevin, thank you very much.